Chelsea Football Club, Conor Gallagher, the boy who was brought up in the Chelsea Academy, has turned out to be one of the most important players for Chelsea this season. Conor Gallagher, a player who had been rumored to be departing Chelsea this summer, looks to be one of the key players for Mauricio Pochettino. This again showcases why Mauricio Pochettino is among the best managers in developing players. So what makes Conor Gallagher so good for Chelsea? Looking at the statistics here, Conor Gallagher has played majority of the games for Chelsea, playing 12 games in the Premier League. The player has played more than 3 positions, playing as an attacking midfielder, central midfielder, defensive midfielder, and also a wing midfielder down the right. So what is this that Conor Gallagher gives to Chelsea that makes him so special for Mauricio Pochettino, a player who nobody in the fan base had expected to make such an impact? So looking at his team play statistics from the Premier League, it shows that Conor Gallagher has been quite great in making passes in the team. He has 4 assists, he has 64% pass success rate, 645% passes that he has made in the Premier League, which is quite remarkable, though he's playing in a more advanced position. Also, another key thing that you need to understand with him is his link-up play. The greatest strength that Conor Gallagher gives Mauricio Pochettino's team is the defensive side. Look at the number of interceptions he has. Look at the number of tackles that he has. Conor Gallagher is so great for Chelsea, especially out of possession. Conor Gallagher's ability to press consistently and counter press is a great weapon for how Mauricio Pochettino wants his team to play. So, Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo have been Chelsea's main key players in midfield. But these two players were expected to come in and play together. However, in recent form, it has showcased that Conor Gallagher has been better than the two. So Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo have been the two midfielders playing behind Conor Gallagher, and we have done a video on them. Check in our timeline that video. So Conor Gallagher has been playing in a more advanced position in front of Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. In this position, he has been tasked to be the player to be playing in between the lines, to orchestrate play, receive the ball in tight spaces, and link the midfield with the attack. Here are some of the instances that showcase the strength of Conor Gallagher. Not only is he an attacking midfielder, he's more of a defensive attacking midfielder, a player who's able to receive the ball, intercept passes, and immediately launch quick counter attacks for his team. Conor Gallagher is also not afraid to shoot from range, making him quite a strength for Chelsea. And we are going to understand the tactical aspect of this young player, and we are going to see what makes him so special for Chelsea and how he has improved tremendously under Mauricio Pochettino. Before we start our analysis, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. And I emphasize that you should subscribe so that you can receive more content from our channel. So the first thing that we're going to do before we start to analyze Conor Gallagher's tactical position on the pitch is to understand how he helps his team both in possession and out of possession. And let's bring in the tactical board and see how he does it. So Pochettino has preferred to play Conor Gallagher as the number 10 in a 4-2-3-1 formation. This number 10 position doesn't make him automatically the hub of the team's creativity, but we'll see his role. So when Chelsea are pressed high up the pitch, you know Chelsea like to build up from the back, and Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo have been tied up, Conor Gallagher can drop deep in these kinds of instances and receive the ball directly from his centre backs. Though this is not something that Conor Gallagher does quite often, but rather what we see is that he makes the run in the half space to pin the opposition fullback and allow Cole Palmer, who likes to be the one to drop deep and receive the ball directly from the centre backs. Then Palmer can play the ball to Conor Gallagher, who can use his strength to shield the ball to play the ball to Reece James. This is something that we saw quite effective against Manchester City. I've done an analysis on that. I've done 2-episode analysis on that. So when Chelsea managed to break the first line of pressure, Conor Gallagher is still quite important because his ability to receive the ball in between the lines and link up with the likes of Enzo and Caicedo is also quite instrumental for Chelsea. Now, in the more progressive phases of play, when Chelsea have settled possession, Conor Gallagher can drop deep and play as an extra man in the right half space. This might be in the opposition midfielders, and if a midfielder tries to come to press Caicedo, then Conor Gallagher will always be create an opportunity of dropping deep and receiving the ball, almost playing like the number 6. He has played this position tremendously, especially the game Chelsea played against Liverpool, and in this case this might allow Palmer to be the one attacking the half space with Reece James playing down the flank. Conor Gallagher is not also afraid to start quite wide as the right winger, showcasing his tactical flexibility together with Cole Palmer, allowing Palmer to move in more central positions where Palmer likes to play so that he can effect the game. The greatest strength of Conor Gallagher in this advanced position is his ability to counter press. Once Chelsea lose the ball in these high places, Conor Gallagher can win the ball and immediately play in the ball for the forwards, who can now attempt to create chances and score against opponents. His counter-pressing ability is his greatest strength and is an asset for Chelsea. Without the ball, he will join Nicholas Jackson in pressing high. Conor Gallagher presses so intensely and so smartly because he uses his cover shadow to prevent balls from penetrating the middle part of the pitch, enabling his team to win the ball high up the pitch, something that we saw Chelsea do time and time again against Manchester City. And Conor Gallagher's stamina is his greatest strength because he can be a great asset for a team without the ball. His work rate is quite intense. His ability to read passes and intercept and launch quick counter-attacks is also an added advantage. He's not your Kevin De Bruyne who will create tons and tons of chances, but he is a number 10 who will give you something so much out of possession by giving your team front foot and taking away workload from forwards, being a press merchant. In some instances, he might shift with Palmer and drop deep in the right wing position, and in this case his main strength is ability to go and take on a winger to prevent the overload against his fullback. And once he wins the ball, he immediately bombs forward to give his team options. This is one of the things that I really like about Conor Gallagher. I like also his forward thinking, something that he has developed tremendously at Chelsea. He's also working on his crossing abilities, and also something that Conor Gallagher really faced throughout last season is his ability of not being composed under pressure. This season I've been so surprised with Conor Gallagher because Conor Gallagher has been receiving the ball under tight pressure and he has been able to break from the opposition press and enable his team to move forward. Last season, Gallagher would be so careless in possession, and majority of the time, he would be given the ball and immediately lose it. Also, another thing that impresses me is his flicks and his one-touch passing. Nowadays, he's quite confident with his passing, and we are seeing him playing those quick 1-2s with Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. Though I have not been impressed with his finishing ability this season, playing in this advanced position, Conor Gallagher should endeavor to improve his finishing because he is the most advanced midfielder. But this is something that he has in his box. He just needs to work more on his shooting. Now, the role of Chelsea's midfield has been quite important this season. Though the team is just starting to gel right now, you can clearly see the kind of pattern of play that Mauricio Pochettino wants to introduce in his team. The 4-3-3 system that Pochettino employs, with Moises Caicedo sitting deep, Enzo Fernandez and Conor Gallagher playing behind the opposition midfield line, is quite an amazing and tremendous creativity by Mauricio Pochettino. I've done a video on this midfield 3, the link is in our timeline, so you can check that video and also get to understand how these 3 players coexist perfectly amongst each other. So Conor Gallagher in this position that he plays for Mauricio Pochettino will be quite crucial, especially with the return of Christopher Nkunku. A lot are signaling that Conor Gallagher will be the one who has to depart the midfield so that Nkunku can play. But actually, Mauricio Pochettino can come up with a way to incorporate Conor Gallagher, because currently a lot of people expected this form from the likes of Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo, but Conor Gallagher is looking to be undroppable at this moment in time. So this form that Conor Gallagher is portraying will enable him to develop into a very great player. Mauricio Pochettino, on the other hand, will be looking to try to answer this midfield question once his key midfielders come back. Players such as Kanich Kumeka, who was playing in this advanced position, will now struggle to retain his position in the team. Christopher Nkunku might now have to play the striker position, or if he plays the number 10 position, then either of Enzo Fernandez or Moises Caicedo will have to lose their position for Conor Gallagher. The role that Conor Gallagher gives Pochettino in his team, the ability of Pochettino to always press his opponents high and aggressively high on the pitch, is something that Mauricio Pochettino will not compromise on. So I've left you a video here to see how Conor Gallagher is so important for Chelsea. Enjoy it. Thanks for watching.